So let's talk about 2-seat Pro XP versus 4-seat Pro XP. Some of you might be considering going between the 2-seat and the 4-seat versions of both of those machines. Either choice, you can't go wrong. They're both an awesome machine. There's, between how it's optioned out, 300 to 400 pounds difference between them. And then obviously if you accessorize them, the weight changes. A lot of guys are worried that the Pro XP4s are like driving a school bus on the trails because they got a longer wheelbase. They're actually not that bad. You're only adding about 1.5 to 2 feet to your machine. And what you gain on the trails, especially, is the ride quality is insanely better. Especially one with dynamics, it's like riding around on a couch. It's awesome how good of a ride that it has. So if you're kind of going between the 2-seat and the 4-seat, again, you can't go wrong, but the 4-seat is definitely not the end of the world. So if you're scared of that, speed-wise, they're really close to each other. I mean, again, if you're on twisty, turny, tight trails, the 4-seat's not gonna turn as tight as the 2-seat, but it's not that bad. It really isn't. And we've got 2 of them here today, both the 4-seat and the 2-seat version of the Rockford Fosgate Ultimate. They're both fully loaded up. They got dynamics with ride command on them. Awesome, awesome machines. But what's cool is, like today I ran just with 2 people in it in a 4-seat. I was able to fold the back seats down and put coolers on the inside and not tie up my bed, which we've got a locking bed cap on it, which I'll show you that in a minute so you can see that it really is a great option if you're considering a 4-seater. So I'm gonna warn you, my machine is a little muddy. Again, we don't have trailer queens here. We actually run our stuff, and as you can see, we get dirty. So in the back seat, I've got our cooler. We had everybody's drinks with us today. I only had another passenger with me. I was able to fold the back seat down and have a cooler chilling in the back with all of our stuff in it. If I needed to add more stuff into the back, I could fold the other seat down, or if I had one of my kids come back with me, they still is a 3rd seat as an option for somebody to ride in. And so why that's important is, come on back here and I'll show you. So on ours, we run a trunk lid on the back. So we put a lot of extra goodies, our spare belt, tools, that stuff hides out in the back here. And with that, we can't have a cooler sitting in the back of it, or at least not easily. So being able to fold the back seat down is a big deal. So again, if you're considering a 4-seater, it's not the end of the world. You're not gonna have a stop sign swinging out on the sign, picking kids up with flashing lights. It's not that bad. So definitely something you might wanna consider. Not that the 2-seat's bad, the 2-seat's a great machine too, but the extra space might be beneficial to some of you. Some of the pros to the 4-seater, you obviously have a better wheelbase, so that rides nicer. It's just a way more plush ride, so that's a pro. You've got more space in the back. Obviously you can run 4 passengers total into the machine, and it's a little bit more family friendly. Some of the cons, it is heavier. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And the turning radius is definitely a little bit bigger. Not horrible, but it's definitely different. And then obviously it's more money. But you know, if you've got a family of 4, it's definitely a great option. Don't be afraid of it. For the 2-seater, obviously the biggest advantage to the 2-seater is it's lighter. It's more nimble because of the shorter wheelbase, so you can throw it around, twisty turning stuff a lot easier. Obviously it's cheaper because you're not paying for 2 more seats. Other than that, everything's the same. You still got the same 181 horsepower, you still got the same transmission in them, you've got the same ride command, you got the same dynamics, all that stuff is the same. And I mean, if you're modding them, the price is the same there again. I mean, if you're doing your shocks and doing like an MTS revalve and spring kit, it's the same price between both machines. If you're doing bumpers, it's the same price. If you're doing a tune and the clutching, it's the same price. Really, it comes down to being honest with yourself. What are you gonna do with the machine, and if you need the extra space? Because I can personally attest the extra space is awesome. And I was one of the guys that thought, man, you should paint these things yellow because they look like a school bus going down the trail. They're not. They are not that bad. And we actually, at our proving grounds, tested older generation XP Turbo 2-seater versus the 4-seater, and the 4-seater was faster around the track than the 2-seater, which blew our minds. None of us thought that was gonna happen. So again, I'm not completely a 4-seater guy, but I'll tell you what, it's not a bad option, especially if you got a family or you need to haul some extra gear. So if you guys got any other questions on this awesome platform from Polaris, drop us a comment below, shoot us an email, or you can message us, we'll message back to you. We offer parts and accessories, performance options for both machines. We can make it set up any way you want. We can do pretty much anything you want with it. So get in contact with us and we'll be more than happy to help you out.